single most important prayer you could ever pray. This year you might be praying, have that Christmas in me. It's a powerful, transformative event this season. I invite you to consider letting it happen. Christmas is maybe the most known holiday in the entire world. There are countries that are not even Christian and celebrate Christmas. They don't even know why we're celebrating Christmas, but they love Christmas. I thought it might be fun today if we kind of looked a little bit at some of the traditions that are happening in the world. I want you to understand all the many profound and different ways that people are celebrating this holiday. The first one I'm going to talk about is a beautiful holiday called Las Posadas. And I could tell you about it, but I think it might be better if you get a chance to see the story and have someone else tell you about it.
This custom takes place on each of the 9 days before Christmas. Each evening, the children gather at the village church and form a procession, symbolizing the journey of Mary and Joseph from Nazareth to Bethlehem. The little ones carry images of the saints from house to house, singing a plea for shelter or posada. A reply comes from within. No posada, no shelter. Looking sad and downhearted, they try again. But the reply is still the same. No shelter, no posada. They repeat their song time after time, and always they are refused. Until at last, they reach a friendly house and the door is open. Come in, holy pilgrims. This humble home is yours. And now Mary and Joseph have found shelter at last. Then the rejoicing begins. The feasting, the celebrating, and finally the biggest surprise of all, breaking the piñata.
I love that. What a profound kind of thing. No posada, posada. So that song that we sang is about opening our heart space. That's a beautiful part of the story that we don't focus on in this culture very much, but it's deeply important then because the symbolism. How wonderful is it to open your heart? This is a question Tim was asking me a couple of weeks ago. Where did the stocking things come from? And it was actually a custom created in Holland. The children would take the wooden shoes and they filled them with straw and carrots for the reindeer that was pulling Santa's sleigh. We always gave Santa cookies and milk, but the children there were giving the reindeer cookies and milk. And then Santa would leave cookies and candy as a thank you. And of course, we don't have wooden shoes in this country much, and so people decided to hang socks instead all over the fireplace because that's where Santa comes from. It's just interesting to see how these things morph together. In Finland, they have a very powerful custom. On the 23rd, the 24th, all the stores close. And at night, where we may be used to going to midnight mass or other services, they will take candles, and you understand Finland is very cold. They will take candles, and they will go to the grave site of their ancestors and their family who have passed on, and they will put candles there and sing Christmas carols as a way of including their family who is not physically present. I think that's a really beautiful custom myself. In the Philippines, of course, they, like me, begin Christmas in September. Some of us actually never quit. They love Christmas. The Philippines is the only Southeast Asian country that is Christian. Most of the rest are either Buddhist or Muslim or Hindu. They absolutely adore Christmas. And every year, on every house, you will see this, called a parol. This is that lighted thing. It represents the Star of David that was shining over Bethlehem. It is the signature decoration for every Filipino home. Filipino children, when they're in school, will learn how to make these from scratch, splitting the bamboo, gluing the sticks together, covering it with Japanese paper, and putting lights inside. You go to Waipahu, you'll see hundreds of these, and they're all different sizes, and they're beautiful reminders of the star. I think it's interesting how every culture has picked up a different part of the story and made it important, whether it's the journey to find shelter, or whether it's the star, or whether it's the candles and lighting for others. In Sweden, there's an amazing custom. They only celebrate Christmas for 3 weeks because King Lufta in the year 1050 said Christmas is 3 weeks. What they do, though, on the 13th of December, is celebrate St. Lucretia Day. St. Lucretia is the queen of light. And of course, the Christmas season is about the coming and the bringing of light. All the little girl children, or the selected little girl children in the community, will wear a crown of 7 lighted candles. I wanted to show you what that might look like. This scene is taken from the largest cathedral. I don't know if you can see that video up very close, but that little girl looked just a little bit worried. If you saw her face, it was a little crooked. I mean, we got 7 live candles on top of my head. I could hear her now go, how long is this song? Oh my God. I saw it the second time I saw it. I looked at her face and go, oh, that's what she's thinking. It's quite fascinating. Music is, of course, the symbol of Christmas for all of us. When we hear it, that's how we get into the mood. And in many countries around the world, especially in Africa, the music is different in only the special and wonderful way that that music can be. I want you to listen to this song because I want to do it next year. So can we do that next year? Just have drums and do the Noel. Okay, good. I'll tell Alicia. We will do that. There, of course, so many cultures have different Christmas traditions. We could be here for a couple of weeks going through all of the really fascinating things that different cultures do. Kind of the point I wanted to make for you is that a culture is that invisible part of our life that sort of dictates our morals and beliefs. It's where they come from. And it shows up in our rituals, it shows up in our actions, it shows up in our relationships. Many of us have chosen our mates and our friends based on our own personal culture. Because make no mistake, each one of us has a culture. We're not only in a culture of the country, but we have a personal culture as well too. And that changes. It's not solid. We probably all have multiple cultures that we're in, you know. Just think if you go to the gym, you have a gym bag and you go in there's a gym culture. It's a whole different thing. Or you go to Costco, now there's a whole other culture. Practically every setting we find ourselves in this world has some cultural values around it. What I want you to take away from that is that cultures can shift. And you know who is in charge of all that? We are. My invitation to you today is to understand that each one of us also has a culture of Christmas. Now, we may think we inherited it from our family, but at some point in the process, we decided that was ours too. And what I want you to know is you can change your mind. So if you don't like Christmas, I'm hoping that maybe you'll make a decision to change that. If you like Christmas, I'm hoping maybe you'll find a way to love Christmas. And if you love Christmas, I'm hoping maybe that you'll find another and deeper, more profound way to love it, because Christmas can be a very transformative and powerful time. And whether it is or isn't is up to you. How do we do that? How can we be in charge of our own culture? How can we even know what that is? Well, the first step is to be aware, is to not say, well, I don't even know if I have a culture. We do. Each one of us does. And we can start by being aware of what it is. What is important about Christmas? What do we resonate with? What is calling to us? What do we want to do? So my first commitment for you is to consider this. I commit to paying attention to what Christmas means for me. See, Christmas is not this whitewater river, and we're all on these little kayaks just zooming down, and who knows what happens to us. Although I know that sometimes it feels that way. I have been known to say to people during the Christmas season, this too shall pass. Because it gets really busy around Christmas sometimes, and you can't hardly keep track of things. And I feel like sometimes I'm on the white water river floating down, I have no control, and it's so not true. I want you to understand it's up to us. So, being aware of what it means. Can you do that? Let's do that part. This is easy so far. Together, I commit to paying attention to what Christmas means to me. Okay? That means we're not just going to blindly ride down the Christmas river of life. Change reactive to proactive. Because I have these Christmas reactions. If I go into Walmart and they're doing the 12 days of Christmas, I'm likely not to shop until that's done. Because it's like 99 bottles of Christmas cheer on the wall. It's not my favorite Christmas tune. It goes on and on and on. I'm having a reaction. We all have reactions to certain things. Maybe, there's too much commercialism, or there's too much parties, or there's too much drinking, or there's too much shopping. I can't. Whatever it is, those are our reactions. My invitation to you this Christmas to create a new Christmas culture is to try to minimize our reactions and have proactions for the things in Christmas that we do want in our lives. I know people in this very congregation who are changing the kind of Christmas they are having this year, consciously changing it, and it's being more meaningful. So the commitment is this: I commit to creating positive changes in my Christmas culture, not just reacting negatively and hiding in the apartment or hiding in the house because Christmas is all out there, bah humbug. No. Creating positive changes, finding out what it is we do like and love and resonate with, and more of that. Can you make this commitment? Let's say it together. I commit to creating positive changes in my Christmas culture. Okay, the most important word there, my. Okay? You can't be elbowing the person next to you and go, okay, we're going to change your Christmas culture. You can't go into Walmart and say, would you please stop playing that song? It's not going to work. We can't change out there. We can only change in here, all right? When this is changed, everything else will change. Number 3, cherish the past and focus on the future. All of us have inherited something that we think is our culture and our traditions. And somehow, we think sometimes because it's tradition that it's like set in stone. But every tradition began somewhere. And you can begin a new tradition. They can begin with you. Now, I'm not saying we should throw out all the old stuff. I think we need to honor in some way the traditions that we've inherited, and there's a way to do that. And we can say, this was great, this is what my family used to do. But now this is what I'm going to do. You know, it's different for people. Everyone has a different way to acknowledge it. There are people who don't want to even do a Christmas wreath on the door. And then I've met other people that have a Christmas tree in every room in their house. Ay, Jesus, Maria Joseph. There are all kinds of ways, and I am not advocating any particular one. I am just saying, let's be aware of what we have and create what we really want Christmas to be for ourselves. So I'm inviting you to honor your history as we create a new now. So the statement is, I honor my history as I create a new now. Can you join me? Let's do that. I honor my history as I create a new now. Beautiful. Now here's the last thing. Create a conscious culture. I don't want us to be pinballs that are bouncing around from event and event, from disaster to disaster in our life, crisis to crisis. That's not who we were created to be. We were created to be spiritual beings that create a better world. So it's up to us to take charge of that, to be aware of it, to make a decision, to make changes. And these aren't decisions that we make only from ourselves. I'm inviting you to create with spirit your Christmas culture, to check in with that divine presence that's in you, because it will be different for you than it will be for me. To check in with that presence and say, okay, what is important? What should I do? And find the guidance and consciously create a culture of Christmas for you. I know people in this church who have been doing it this year, and they told me because of the result of something that we said a couple of weeks ago, they decided to have a different Christmas experience. And they did some different actions, and it resulted. But what was really cool was that the friends around them saw it happening. And they said, oh, that's really cool. Let me help you with that. And the next thing you know, there was this huge influx of change flowing in, all because they changed their mind. They made a different decision. And it's so amazing how the universe scoops us up to support us in that upward evolution. So this is the commitment. I create with spirit my own Christmas culture. When you do that, it will be profound for you. It will be powerful for you. It will be transformative for you. Will you say this with me together? I create with spirit my own Christmas culture. Beautiful. I'm going to invite you to close your eyes for just a minute. In this community, the way we make that connection with spirit is through what we call meditation. It's that time of quiet when we go within and we check with the God of our being to feel, to sense, to know our oneness. And in that is such wisdom, such amazing peace, such a sense of safety. So in these quiet moments, I'm inviting you to consider with God, what kind of culture of Christmas you are going to create for you. And expect a miracle. As we come to God together now, in the sacred and holy silence.